lying, y'all. Y'all think it's me. I'm telling you, it's her.
30 days out. That is my message to the world.
I'm so excited.
Man, I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I need to pin my jersey up. Like, I'm like, man, I got to get with the. Hold on.
Go get it. Go get it.
Huh?
I literally put that up just for you, bro.
Hey, we got. Hold on now. Which one he want?
Yo, you're crazy, bro.
Do an interview like this. You know?
Welcome to the Inspiring with Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Mondo Davis, and y'all are in for a treat today. I'm telling you, you're going to want to buckle your seatbelt. This is one of my new homeboys, one of my new homies. Met him down in Miami at the Great American Speak Off, and he has quite the resume. I'm so excited about everything that I'm going to get to share, that he's going to get to share, because I believe that you're going to walk away with some great tools that will help equip you to be successful in life and truly get inspired to find your purpose. So I'm going to read Daryl Jones' resume off to you, and I want y'all to get ready, because this brother right here is an impressive brother, and he's overcome some obstacles in life. He's done some things that are very credible, and he's done some things that most people can never do in regard to him being a one percenter in regard to his accomplishments. So before I jump in, Daryl, why don't you say hi to everybody?
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Mondo.
Our pleasure. So Daryl is a speaker, author, thought leader, and minister, and he's a highly sought after public speaker that has gone through incredible opportunities to speak with high energy, passion. Derek's unique ability to connect with his audiences. Oh, bro, I'm like all over the place with this. We got to start that joint over, bro.
That's why you got editing, bro.
That's why we got editing right there. We're going to edit all of that out.
Hey, we're in show business.
Yo, bro, I'm going to read that all over again. All right, you ready? All right. So Daryl is a highly sought after public speaker, author, minister, and thought leader, known for his high energy and passionate speeches. Daryl's unique ability to connect his experiences as a pro athlete to relatable, practical tools for personal progress leave the audience with a sense of empowerment. And Daryl is the CEO of DJ2 Enterprises, whose mission is to help leaders discover their untapped potential that produces a life of purpose and power. My brother was born in Royal Oak, Michigan in 1987, and he grew up in Spring, Texas, where he was exposed to characteristics such as hard work and persistence from watching his mom function as a single mother and working multiple jobs to take care of him and his sister after his parents divorced when he was just 5 years old. So despite many traumatic events during his childhood, Daryl overcame the odds by excelling in sports and academics. And by the age of 17, he was voted most likely to succeed by his peers due to several accolades, such as 31. I'm going to repeat that, y'all. 31 Division I football scholarships, 6 baseball scholarships. Wow. 3rd round Major League Baseball draft pick by the St. Louis Cardinals. And it was then that the heartbeat of his story and his message began to grow as he endured the most challenging years of his life, coming face to face with insecurities and addiction. And as one of the Cardinals' top 5 prospects and being known for his raw athleticism and speed, Baseball America rated him as the St. Louis Cardinals' best athlete and fastest base runner. My boy got some wheels, but he's a community leader by coaching, teaching, and training and equipping young athletes how to maximize their abilities on and off the field. And in 2016, he became a published author. Woo, let's go. When he wrote his new book, God Cares About Sports. Daryl's goal is to use his talents and abilities to inspire, motivate, and bring out the best in others. Daryl Jones, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, man. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Woo, bro. That's amazing. You've done some incredible things.
Yeah.
So we read through the incredible accolades, the impact, all the amazing things that you've done. I got a chance to hear you speak at the Speak Off, and you were amazing. So all of this is incredible. And the average person is looking at it like, man, that's great. I don't know if I can even connect with that. I've never done anything like that in my life. I'm still stuck. So who is Daryl Jones behind the bio?
Behind the bio. So it's funny that you say that, because you're reading all that stuff off, and honestly, I feel like I didn't realize who Daryl Jones really was until after my pro career. Starting with the father being, leaving the home, And you don't realize I actually use baseball as kind of is like a escape, because and you get to, especially with football, man, you get to really take out the anger. You have something to kind of relay that over. But you'd be surprised, man, when my career ended, that's when you really get to see yourself because as an athlete, um, you don't have to be intimate a lot. Okay, we get praised for our skills and what we do on the field, and we don't have to put too much work into what we do behind closed doors because everybody assumes that area is packed tight because what they see is good, what we've been good at. That's what we spend a lot of time in. So, long story short, the man is actually still being is still in transition and learning because I didn't uh, I didn't really get a chance to know myself until after my career. So I would say that man right now is more so a man. First, I'm a man of God.
Come on.
Realize that. Um, but even in that, learning just man how to like deal with my flesh. Deal with some of those things that people don't like to talk about. Like talk about the addictive behavior. I didn't realize how much I didn't have it together until after my career was over.
Bro.
So go ahead.
Woo. Man, that is so good because, like you said, we have a tendency, especially in our culture, to idolize athletes, idolize sports.
Yeah.
Right? You're the hero of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the epitome of success, right? 1% of people get that opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're in the spotlight. But it's like, how do we deal with the fact that our gifting will take us somewhere? But the question is our character strong enough to keep us there?
Character. I'm glad you said that because here's where we get to have real locker room talk.
Come on, bro. Get in there.
We hear that all the time. We hear that all the time as the athlete. Character. And so much character is always about saying the right things, doing the right things, and all that stuff. But nobody ever talks about being the right way. Like we never get taught how to be because we're getting told so much what to do. Train, do this, become a great athlete. Very rarely did anybody sit us down and talk to us about who we are. We're always striving for something that we don't have and not really looking at who we are right now. Heck, LeBron James, I remember when he won his fourth championship with the Lakers in the bubble. I remember this quote, I'll never forget. He said, man, sometimes I don't have a chance. He said, I have to really force myself to sit back down and really learn what I've really accomplished because it's always on to the next, always on to the next. And that is a good deal. But it also, on the other time, we sometimes have trouble focusing and being in the moment, and loving ourselves in the moment because we're so busy. If I don't get this job done, and even football, I know it's cutthroat in football. Y'all get what paycheck to paycheck as far as game to game checks. And the injury, you get hit, it's over with. And now, what do I do now? You got your family depending on you. You got certain over here, all these aspects. And so, as far as the character, yeah, we develop on the field character. But like I told my friend years ago when he was asking me how my family was doing, I told him straight up. I said, "Hey man, I said hitting the baseball doesn't teach me anything else but other than how to hit a baseball. It don't teach me how to be a father. It don't teach me how to be a husband.
Wow.
And so I was telling him without telling him what was happening with my family.
Yeah, bro, that's so good, man. Talk to those who have this aspiration to do something great with their lives, right? Because I don't think anybody wants to be a bum. Nobody is like, yo, I can't wait to be second place.
Right.
Like nobody's born like that, right? All of us want to win in life. Right. All of us want to be the best that we can be. Right. So when we do get the opportunity to achieve whatever that success looks like in our life, how do we make sure that our character stays in congruence with our success? How do we what is your recommendation? I mean, we read through your bio, right? It talks about some addiction. It talks about like, do you want to dive deep into that space and talk about maybe what led into that? And then how do we prevent that? Yeah.
Man. So here's the deal. If you really want to get deep in, I mean, like really into it, who are you looking at? First of all, matters. What image of whatever leader a group of people you have matters. I'll keep it totally honest. I remember the day that one of my homeboys, he was selling some DVDs, of some porno, and all that stuff like that. And I was like, shoot, let me see, you high school, you like, oh, let me get that, boom, boom, boom. And then next you know, boom, you looking at it, and then it's just fun and games until now you have the opportunity to actually act out on all the desires you've been having you know, for so long. So here's what I mean. We look at good character as what you do on the outside, right?
Yeah.
I had National Honor Society, 31 scholarship, all that great success on the outside. But the reality of it is that you would call that a good character person. But was it really on the inside? Or did I not just have the money and the opportunity to act out what I really wanted to act out on? See, there was nothing tending to that monster that was growing on the inside while all
Mm,
this great stuff is, oh, he's a nice kid, he's a good kid. Yeah, but there's some things in here that, need to be contained and controlled. And so a lot of time, like I didn't have an image of the type of person I really want to be in front of me, right?
wow.
Um,
Wow.
and that's what I think when you take the father out the home of any home, you naturally take the image of what God is trying to get you to look like. I mean, the
Wow.
father, you take him out. So now you have a mother, who can be a mother, but she can't be the father.
Come on.
She can't be the father.
Wow.
And so who's leading me? And God, I have nothing else to go on other than my desires and my ability. I was gifted. So my entire life, I'm operating on my gifts and my abilities. And that got me to a certain level until life, not sports, but life started to hit. And
Mm.
it's life that starts to screw up what you were gifted at doing because you don't have the internal tangibles to keep what you got in the first place. We
Ooh,
said in the
bro.
big leagues, we said it's easy to get to the big leagues, it's harder to stay.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So life, I'm not playing right now. Like I'm 35 years old. I'm not playing right now, not because I mean I got injured, but I got injured because I did not take care of the things that I should have been taken care of mentally and health wise because I thought that I would have it all, the whole time. I thought I could
Mm.
get away with. I didn't have that character to keep, it going.
Bro, you dropped some bars right there. I mean, that was so good, Daryl. Man, you said so much, but my biggest takeaway from what you talked about is our ability to recognize that you can operate in your gift.
Mhm.
You can operate in a strength. The word is really clear that the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. In other words, God doesn't take the gift, but it's a
Right.
matter of how we choose to use it,
Use it.
right?
100%.
And who we're idolizing, so to speak, who we're looking at, where our vision is, determines where we go.
Right.
And you just hit on something when it came to the father being present in the home, right? And you talked about how not having that imagery to say, okay, this is what my life should look like,
Mhm.
affected you and kind of took you in a different direction, right? Even though you were successful on the outside, internally you knew
Yeah.
something's off, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yo, what's
Yeah.
up? I got this monster growing in here.
Yeah.
And we all have to wrestle with that. We all have to overcome that.
Yeah.
So what would you say to the family or to the kid that's watching this right now that wants to play professional football or play professional baseball or professional basketball?
Mhm.
And most kids, you and I both know, we were those kids.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what do you say to that kid when you have a lot of homes in America that are fatherless
Yeah.
to help keep them on a narrow path so they can go forward and do not only what God's called them to do, but do it well?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah,
would you
man.
say?
So I mean, honestly, and depending on the age and the depth, people was understanding, but honestly, understanding that who I am is different than what I do, and really digging it deep on my relationship with God. And I mean, honestly, that can be cliche to a lot of people, but I can tell you, I was my best. I've been my best self when my relationship with God is here. Not perfect, but when I'm seeking God, praying, spending time, just trying to seek out who he is because I realize that if I don't get to know him, I really don't get to know me
Mm.
because he created me in his image. So
Ooh.
the whole battle is always going to be the enemy is always in football, bro. The opposition always wants to get you distracted and misdirect you to get you away from your true identity. A team that doesn't have an identity as a team that's going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why they take the Bibles and all that stuff out of schools. All this stuff, people are okay with a lot of stuff, but when it comes down to specifically the Bible and even people are okay with saying God, but when you say Jesus or Christ, boy, it shuts everything down. Everybody's got a problem now, and
Yeah.
and I think that's a spiritual attack that we have. So we can counteract that if we understand that that it is a spiritual battle that you are facing. We're not just a
Yes.
body.
Come on.
And so we have to have that part of us together,
Come on.
and then obviously the mental part, so spiritual, mental, and physical.
Come
As
on.
an athlete, a lot of times it's just focused on the physical part, training, be strong. And then we talk about mental toughness and all that other stuff. But then a lot of times we don't go into depth about the mental, how to train the brain, how to sit down and really focus. Athletes kind of have an advantage because the environment kind of helps them train in that, but nobody's really talking to us about how do we do it on purpose. How do I, when I wake up in the morning, what system or routine can I create that focuses my mind, as in the Bible says, meditate on the word day and night.
Come on.
Why? So that you will be planted,
Mm.
so that when something happens, you won't be all boom, 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 shaking and moving.
Come on.
And honestly, bro, I think I feel like the reason why people love athletes so much, and you mentioned idolize and worship, is because athletes, the whole thing about an athlete actually lives in a way that everyday person should be living every day. We have preparation, routine, a coach. We have running mates, our teammates, and we
Yeah.
also have people we're guiding and feeding, like rookies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have the opposition that we intentionally prepare for.
Come on.
It ain't a,
Woo.
it ain't a oh, everything's positive all day. Oh, no, it's I know that this is an opposition that I'm going to face. So I'm going to intentionally prepare when we buck
Wow.
heads,
Come
not if,
on.
but when. So when I fill myself
Woo.
up, I'm ready. I'm not doing it to feel good. I'm doing it to prepare myself so I won't crumble when we bust heads.
Ooh.
That is
Come
what
on.
we need to be teaching these kids, bro.
That is so good.
Offense
Wow.
and defense.
Come on, baby. So you talked about, bro. Oh my gosh. That was so
I know I
good.
said a lot, but
Nah, man, it was so powerful because we forget, bro. We forget that in life there's going to be opposition and there's an opposer out there. We forget
that's
that
it.
because we can't see him. We
That's
think
it.
it's not what?
That's it.
So bro, you literally said the difference between those who watch athletes and the athlete is that the athlete is preparing in all these different ways, but intentionally prepares for opposition.
Or the opposition.
Let's go. So how can we do that in real life, Daryl? I mean, like,
Yeah.
what's your perspective on that when you have an enemy you can't see,
Mhm.
right? You may or may not have a mentor or a father in the house.
Mhm.
You don't really know how to focus your attention. You don't have any coaches.
Mhm.
You ain't even got running buddies.
Mhm.
So how do we take those skills from professional sports and then we apply it in the real world and intentionally prepare to buzz heads and bust the head of the enemy open? How do we do that?
Well, okay. I mean, first of all, okay, was what scripture says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, right?
Come on, right?
So,
Yeah.
so even little things like if anyone's listening to this right now and you don't know, well, guess what? Listening to this right now, you have two people that have expertise in this that are telling you, hey, you have opposition. I think the number one thing the enemy wants to do is to get you to think that he doesn't exist. I can't fight an enemy, and nor will I prepare for an enemy I don't believe exists. So
Wow.
we have to understand that you do have an enemy. And once you do have an enemy, the first thing what do we do when we watch film? We study him.
That's right.
We study him just like you go to school.
That's right.
Just like you go to school, you study him. But you also, and again, we also need to understand who we are, but sometimes that's how this worked out along the way. But we need to know what we're facing. We need to know what we're really up against so we can strategize and start putting a plan together of to accomplish whatever goal we want to. It's the same concepts in business, bro.
Come
It's the
on.
same. They figure out a goal. Okay, where do I want to go?
Mm.
And then they work backwards and say, what are the steps I have to do to get there? We all grow up in different situations. I grew up without a father, but how was I able to have that level of success? Well, I had to be doing something.
That's
Okay.
right.
I had to be doing something. The worst thing you can do is sit around and do nothing because
Mm,
as the world moves, you're sitting still. So you're actually going backwards because if the world's going this way, you're doing so you're getting farther, farther away. You're getting more frustrated and more discouraged because everything's seeing so far. So let's start making movement, do something. It doesn't have to be the right thing, but it needs to be something. And then we adjust along the way. When I step up to the plate as a hitter, I don't know what the pitcher is going to throw me. So I have to come up there and I have to get ready. Okay, I'm going to try to hit the ball this way, right?
mm,
But he might try to throw a ball at another place that it confuses me. He's not trying to give me what I want. So as he's throwing pitches, mentally, I have to be able to make adjustments as he's throwing the pitches. However, at the end of the day, when I'm doing it, I have to be willing to make the adjustment. I have to be willing to swing the bat. If I don't ever swing the bat,
mm.
I got no shot.
Come on.
You said earlier, everybody wants something, right?
That's right.
So if
Yeah.
you want something, then that means you need to be moving somewhere
Come on.
at
Come on.
the basic level.
I love
You
it.
know?
So what I hear you saying, Daryl, is basically no matter where you are, no matter what stage you're in, you can't just sit still, put your head in a hole, and think that everything's gonna stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like at some point, you got to get a vision for what's in your heart and what you see for your future.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you're doing the right thing or even doing the wrong thing, and you may not even know it, you got to start moving in that direction. And as you move in that direction, God will course correct you. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the GPS.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could get the vision of where you're going, put the address in. This is where we're going. Here's what I see. Here's where we're going. And then as you start driving, if you go in the opposite direction, Siri's is gonna be like, do a U-turn. Please turn around. It's time to turn around. Turn left here. And then if you pass that left, it's gonna say turn left at the next left. It's gonna keep on talking to you until you finally adjust.
Mm-hmm.
And when you adjust and now you start following the instruction, eventually you're gonna arrive at the destination.
I'm gonna ask you a question now.
Come on, bro.
You said something. So you mentioned that. I think so. Let's talk about why. Why?
Yeah.
What do you think some of the reasons that keeps people from doing that? Because
Bro.
I feel like that's where we're at now. Like people
Hey,
know.
come on, man. So look, here's the deal, right? And I've even wrestled with this myself, despite playing pro ball. You know what I'm saying? Like fear. I think fear is the number one thing, right? Now we could talk about false evidence appearing real. There's all these different sayings. Like I heard somebody say F everything and run, you know.
Don't work like that.
You know what I mean? So if it's, I know fear is a major factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I got to be perfect instead of just making some progress. You
Mm-hmm.
have fear of success. Like, what if we actually do make it? Like, can I handle it?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like fear is the number one thing, but my thing is, let's do it afraid. Like, let's take one step of faith and check in with the Lord afraid.
Yeah.
And then as he guides us, we can course correct. We got people around us that love us and can tell us the truth. What are your thoughts on that?
Let me tell you something. And this is real talk. So I remember telling my mom one time, I said, sometimes, man, I feel like I don't know why I made the, like, I don't know why I chose to be a Christian, right?
Yeah. Come on, bro.
This is why I said it. I said because at times it seems like I was more confident and bold when I hadn't received Christ, because I would just do, move, operate on. And then when I received Christ, and now I'm trying to be perfect and do the right thing. So I had to get rid of this mindset of that God was wanting me to make the perfect move. And so because I was trying to make the perfect move, I wouldn't move because I was afraid if it didn't work. Like even that word vision for me, I've had to, in my own mind, I had to split it up into what are my visions? Like what is my visions for my finances, my marriage, my relationships, my, different visions, because I got caught up in this mindset. What's the one vision that if there's not everything looking like this, then it's not, what I mean? It's gotta be perfect. And I wouldn't move, I got a lot of strikeouts on my record because I was looking for the perfect pitch.
Wow. Come on. Woo.
Versus, let me go ahead and battle. And I might work myself into to squeaking a hit out just because the battle was there. I was ready to fight.
Come on. So, bro, what are the percentages of you even hitting the ball at 90 miles, 100 miles an hour? Like, what's the average speed of a pitch? And then what are the percentages that you're going to even hit the ball?
So the average, and this is why I love life though too, because it relates perfectly to life. The average, the to be considered a Hall of Famer, obviously you just got to hit 30% for your entire career.
Wow.
So,
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10, 3 out of 10. So
Wow.
think about, so you're failing 70% of the time.
Oh my
Think about that.
gosh. Wow.
Who wants to fail 70% of the time? But if you
Mm.
look at it, that's really, if you ask anybody that's really been successful, and I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you had your successes, but it was the failures that you failed to stay down in, that you chose not to stay down in, that really got you going. You didn't kill every workout. You didn't, win every game. You didn't win every play,
Mm.
but you were back ready for the next one. That's the
Come
one thing
on.
sports teaches you. Sports is an environment. It keeps you, and it exposes the ones that are quitters, but the ones that don't quit end up moving further along because it demands that you go to the next play. It demands.
Wow.
You're never stuck in one play. When I was
Yeah.
the offensive coordinator, I had to game plan my first 10 plays, right? I didn't
Yep.
just game plan one play. I prepared 10 plays ahead of time. And if every play didn't go exactly the way I wanted to, because if it did, we would have scored within those 10 plays. But as we're going, somebody gets a penalty. Okay, now I gotta adjust. Okay. What play can we plug in here now that'll help us here? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And so I'm adjusting as these mistakes are made.
Yes. Man, that's so good. Going back to the analogy about the car being in motion
Yeah.
and knowing that you're going to get redirected, and then hearing that 30% is all you need to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Bro, give
30%.
me a jersey, bro.
Right.
I'm about to try out right now.
Right. Right. But see, it's not like that in any other sport.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I would make it,
Right.
but hearing that makes me feel confident that, you know what, man, maybe, right?
And it's
So
every day.
how can we have it? How can we have that same mentality, like that confidence that I just felt like, yo, man, maybe how can we have that same confidence in life? Right. And if we had that mentality to know, like, yo, man, I might fail 70% of the time, but guess what? 30% is all I need. I
Yeah.
could be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, bro.
I, I, you, I mean, honestly, like I said, it goes back to being an athlete. I think now that we know this, we understand we need a coach. We need somebody that's been where we've been before.
Come on, come on.
That,
Somebody that's further ahead than you.
that's somebody that's further ahead. So they've been there. They've already been past your level. You need somebody that you can go to that they can say, "Ah, boy, you good. I went through that last year, man. I'm
Yeah.
up. Let me pull you out because I had no money then, and boom. And then you need somebody, a running mate. My best friend, and we didn't know this at the time, but my best friend, his desire was to be an NFL player. He played for the Falcons.
Come on.
So I don't think it was a coincidence that my best friend, who we competed with my entire life, had pro aspirations as well.
Let's
We
go.
connected when we were 5 years old.
Come on.
So we did that. But then, like I said, as you get older, you have people that you give back to. So I
Yeah.
think we understand that we need a coach. We need somebody to push us, run with us, but also somebody that wants to be like us.
Come on.
You know what I
Come on.
mean?
So let's capture that. So I heard you say we need a coach. This is somebody that's a step ahead of us, right? They don't even have to have the whole thing figured out, but they're just ahead of us and they can guide us along the path.
Yes.
So that coach is ahead of us. So no matter where you are in life, we all need a coach. Who's that person that can help you and say, yeah, I've been there, done that. Here's what you need to know. Okay.
Yes.
Then number 2 is a companion.
Yes.
This is somebody that you can run with.
Companion.
This is somebody that you're looking at and saying, bro, like, what's your goals? Yeah, I want to go there, or I want to go there too. Maybe in different industries, but both of y'all are moving in a similar direction, right? Yep. And then you got somebody that's looking up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is somebody that you're now helping. So I love that because it's like a river.
Yes.
See, if you got a still body of water, it starts to stink after a while. It ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But with a river, there's a flow. There's a source coming in.
Yep.
It's flowing through, and then you got to give into something else. So I feel like in life, man, I love what you said, Daryl, with those 3 key takeaways, because when we get to that mentality in life and we realize that there's people that have been before us, we have those that we can run with, and then we have those that we need to pour into, it changes our perspective, and it gives us a greater value for what we're focused on and the vision that lives on the inside of our heart. And we really you can't fail, because even if you don't arrive at that destination, I see failure as, I heard somebody say, it's just an unintended result. And when you think about that, there's always something you can learn from it.
Yeah.
that's preparing you for where you're going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Daryl, man, you dropped some great truths in here, man. So if you could wrap up your thoughts and encourage the person that's listening to this right now, listening to this podcast, saying, well, you guys both play professional sports. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to be a good father. I'm trying to be a good mother. I'm trying to, be a good student in school.
Mhm.
And I don't really know if I have aspirations to go play a professional sport, but I do want to be my best at whatever I do, maybe in business or whatever it is. What would you say as a last thought to that person listening that feels like there may not be any hope, or there maybe they have analysis paralysis and they're bound by fear?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would say physically, look at the two people that are talking here. Neither one of us are playing our professional sport right now.
That's true.
Okay? But we're excited about life. We're excited about what's next. Okay. Because we understand that now we're in another chapter of our lives. You can't play a professional sport forever. And even if you are doing something else, you're not going to be able to do that forever. So you need to have a understanding about yourself that who you are in here isn't defined by what you do on the outside. But more importantly, I want to encourage you that when you make a decision to get back up, there's no pain, there's no hurt, there's no lie, there's no betrayal, there's no failure that can stop what you want to create in your life, because you were designed by a creator to create. Okay. There's nothing specific that he put in your life that said, hey, you know what? If you don't do this, this is what you're going to do. God gives us raw materials. Okay. And it's up to us to take what he puts in our hands and make something out of it. And that's what it is. God does not make trees. I mean, he doesn't make tables, but he will make trees.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We use our mind. We use what's in here to turn that into something beautiful and creative, and for what other people can use.
That's so good.
And that's if I to end it up on this, make sure that you never stop dreaming. Don't let your dreams go away, and dream so big that everyone else can put their dreams inside of yours.
Ooh, I like that.
That's what you need to do.
That's good.
So big, everyone can put their dreams inside of yours.
I love that, Daryl. That's so good, man. Wow. Powerful. You know what? I'm gonna be thinking about this, man. I appreciate what you shared. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Because if your dream is not big enough for other people to house inside of yours, you're not dreaming.
Yeah. Big. I'm trying to get let me see if my dream fits into Mondo's. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Wow.
And if I'm doing, my thing, then, you like, okay, I could put mine in, and man, things are just boom, boom, kingdom expansion.
Boom, let's go. And that's the God we serve.
That's it.
He's a big God. So, man, I love this, man. So many great takeaways for everyone that's listening. Daryl Jones, Major League Baseball player, phenomenal athlete, phenomenal man, and incredibly encouraging as you guys experienced today. Daryl, how can we find you if we want to get in touch or find your book? Where can we find you?
So my book is on Amazon. You can find that on Amazon. God Cares About Sports. As far as where I'm most active at is Instagram at the Daryl Jones. So TheDaryl Jones.com. I'm on LinkedIn as well, but most active on IG at thedaryljones.com.
Man, that's wonderful. Thank you again, Daryl, for being on the Inspiring with Purpose podcast. We are so honored that you were here with us, man. You dropped some golden nuggets that I'm going to be chewing on all week. This was great, man. So encouraging, so inspiring. And for all of you who are listening, I just want to encourage you to go back, rewind, find out exactly what it is, the vision is that you have for yourself. What is that thing that you feel God has called you to do with your life that you can actually go and find a coach in, that you can run with someone with, and most importantly, pour back into somebody else with.
Yes.
And then let go of the fear and dive in so that your dream is big enough to house other dreams, as Daryl said.
Yeah.
And now you can walk into something and surprise yourself, remembering that if you take the analogy of professional sports, all you need is 30%. That's all you need. Come on, baby.
I got to remind myself of that, bro.
Hey, you're going to be a Hall of Famer, 30%. So if you fail 70% of the time, man, consider yourself to be a 1%er.
There you go.
And we'll leave you with that. So thank you so much for tuning in with us here at the Inspiring with Purpose podcast. Don't forget, I'm Mondo Davis, your host. And we look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir.